We're recording. All right, send it.
Welcome to The Firing Line with Philip Naiman. The Firing Line radio show is brought to you by Turner's Outdoorsman, IndustryGreetings.com, CCW Safe, Cutting Edge Bullets, Vortex Optics, Vortex, the Force of Optics, and by Philip Naiman and Cornerstone Christian Wealth Management.
Hello, folks. Welcome to another edition of Firing Line radio show, heard Saturdays at 1 o'clock in Southern California and 10 a.m. on Saturdays in Prescott, Arizona. So wherever you're at, I hope you're having a great day out there. This week, we're going to touch on a few things that came out of SHOT Show. But as you know, the national narrative has jumped back to gun control. You've got Nana Feinstein coming out of the crypt, claiming that we need to have more gun control. You've got Kakala Harris. You've got I. Gavinus, the self-imposed emperor of California. I. Gavinus Nerosum is out there telling us that the Second Amendment is a suicide pact. And you know what? It very well may be. The Second Amendment may be a suicide pact for tyrants. You know, we're talking about all the flooding we've had in California versus the droughts. Well, the only drought we've had in California is on the Tree of Liberty. And so we need to review this when we take a look at the thuggery that is in our governor's office. This man is walking over Second Amendment rights, First Amendment rights. He did that all through COVID. Second Amendment rights. He is absolutely a thug. I. Gavinus needs to not be in office any longer. And I'm afraid you're going to see him on the national stage. So that's something we all need to fight against, folks. You do not want this guy running anything more than a bar on the west side of San Francisco, where he's from. So we're going to leave it at that. This murder we just had in Monterey Park in Los Angeles, the one that's all in the news, was occurred from a demented person who used a MAC-10. So I don't know if those of you who are familiar with a MAC-10, it's a terrible gun, but it's been illegal in California for going on close to 30 years. So these guns have not been legal in California, yet here you've got somebody using an illegal gun committing illegal crimes. Once again, it's the criminal. And the fact that Los Angeles County, where this occurred, is almost impossible still to get a CCW. So you have an unarmed populace with somebody who is crazed with a firearm that's already illegal. And obviously the cure for that is more gun control, said I. Gavinus Nerosum. It's insane. So no, we don't need more gun control. We need criminal control. We need criminals to stay in jail or in the dirt where they belong, and not to be out here causing new victim classes. And we need to arm the populace. If those people in there were armed, this wouldn't have been the tragedy that it was. You know, one person was unarmed and stood up to the guy, took away his pistol or the MAC-10. You know, as Mike, who's joining me on the show here, said earlier, he was able to take the pistol away from him, but had it been a half a can of Strawberry and Sure, he probably would have had a harder fight. So, you know, that's just the way it is when you're fighting a 72-year-old. Anyway, folks, let me just leave that where it is. We need to be vigilant. You need to support the California Rifle and Pistol Association, the Arizona Rifle and Pistol Association, Gun Owners of America, Gun Owners of Arizona, Gun Owners of California. We need to support those groups that are out there fighting for your rights every single day. The Second Amendment is not a suicide pact. Well, it is for tyrants. If you're a tyrant, the Second Amendment is a suicide pact. If you are a normal civilian, it's your guarantee of freedom. And we need to support that in all ways. Okay, that's my preaching. It's out of the way. Now we can have some fun. Now, the guest I have on my show today is Mike. He's from Smash Time, Smash_Time is his YouTube channel. You can also find him on Instagram. He does a ton of gun reviews. He's in the free state of Texas. He is a refugee, right? A Second Amendment refugee. He was formerly, and I'm going to lay this out on you, man. He actually was from the People's Republic of Occupied California. He made his escape about 10 years ago.
12.
but who's counting? So 12 years ago, folks, this is Michael from Smash Time. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Philip. Thank you for letting me come on this show again. I have a lot of fun. I love hearing you preach.
Somebody does. That's why you're on the show. This is my one fan. Got to have him back on every quarter.
What was that? The Tree of Liberty has a deficiency, or
yeah, the only drought. Well,
yes,
the drought on the Tree of Liberty is because it needs to have the blood of tyrants. That's actually the way the quote works.
Amen to that.
You know, rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. Yeah, Benjamin Franklin said that. That was on the original seal of the United States, the original seal on our founding, on the Great Seal of the United States. Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God.
Yeah, and not only are they hitting us in the courts and with the ATF, they're also hitting you on social media. So now on YouTube, I didn't know if you know, but 2A channels are getting 1, 2, 3, 4 strikes and just getting taken off altogether in like a period of a week. So like I have one channel strike. I had one video taken down that had my daughter in it at a gun range shooting safely. And there's a couple of channels out there. Even once you get that 3 strikes, you're just erased.
Well, I know we talked about this before. Have you gone to any of the alternative platforms?
Yeah, I'm on Rumble, but
nobody else is.
Nobody else is, really.
Yeah, that's the reality, is everybody's still on YouTube. It's the easier platform to use. It's just
the number one search engine in the world is Google. Number 2 is YouTube. So when people want to search for something, they automatically go to YouTube for it. And so apparently these new guidelines for YouTube is if you screw on a suppressor in any part of your video, you're changing the weapon, and that's a strike. And if you reload a 30-round magazine now, that's a strike. So if you show yourself taking a magazine out and putting a new one in, it's a strike. If you put a red dot on a pistol, that's a strike. If you put sights on a pistol, it's a strike. Any modification at all. So basically you can set it on a table and stare at it and make your video. It's getting a little ridiculous.
Well, we've got to move to alternative platforms, right? We have to. And that just means everybody's got to move. You have to hit them with that. And, YouTube is more friendly than Rumble. Rumble's got to pick up its game. We tried Gab for a while, but there just was zero people over there. So it's kind of hard. You have to go where the people are at. But, it's eventually it's just not going to have that. It's not going to have that content. That content will be segregated.
Right. And it makes a big impact because when new people get into guns, the first thing they do is go to YouTube and search all about guns. I mean, it's going to really cut the head off of new gun owners, how to safely handle guns, how to take apart a gun safely and stuff like that. So,
yeah, I was going to do, and I actually made a couple of orders this holiday season. Found some decent sales, and I was thinking, you know what, this might be good. I've had a lower in the safe, oh my gosh, for 8 years, from Nemesis Arms. Our buddies Nemesis Arms, they're out of Kentucky now. They were in California, but like everybody else, they left. He's the one that makes the takedown precision rifle. In 11 seconds, you're up and running. It was in the Born Supremacy movie, all that stuff. Anyway, he started making some AR frames back in 2012 when all the craziness happened out here, and they were phenomenal. So I had one of those that he made for me, and it's been in the safe. And I thought, you know what, maybe I'll do a video putting an AR together, right? I got the parts kits, I got the new upper. It's like, oh, this would be fun. But now you're telling me it's dead from the beginning if you're just teaching somebody how to put the CMG part kit into an AR lower.
Right. You can't do any of that.
That's interesting.
I mean, some people do, and the video might get monetized, but a lot of the strikes on these bigger channels are from videos 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, really? They're going back into their...
Yeah.
And they're not just deleting that one video or telling them to take that video down. They're just deleting the channel.
Well, some people are purging them their own channels now. And then if you already have 1 million subscribers, you can delete your entire library and you will still survive on YouTube. Just going forward, you can be able to say, but if you're under 40,000, like I'm at 19,000 now, if you're a smaller channel, it's just it hurts, you know, because you can't delete your library. It pretty much wipes you out. So all the new guys coming up that are just starting out the last year, it's crippling. It's absolutely crippling.
Very good. So, folks, we're going to come back here. We're going to talk about SHOT Show, some of the stuff that's coming on. Mike was out there. He's a survivor of SHOT Show. And we're going to talk about that as soon as we come back here. FiringLineRadio.com, /_ for his channel. Well, it's still there on YouTube. That's right, folks. It's Boomstick Radio. Philip Naiman here. FiringLineRadio.com is our website. We're getting it new and improved. We actually have our sponsors on there with their vendor codes for discounts, such as, I don't know, say 15% off cutting edge bullets, 15% off a mag light, $50 off each EMP shield, 10% off a CCW safe. All those codes are on there. Decided to make it easy instead of trying to remember them all. So when you go on our website, FiringLineRadio.com, go to the vendors, and underneath their names or their support codes, you can go right there, get your discounts immediately because, well, you need it. You need to spend less money on services so you can buy more ammo. Right?
100%.
100%. Folks, that's Michael. Michael from Smash Time. Smash Time is a great gun review channel. We're going to spend some time with him here. He's going to tell us about SHOT Show and all the stuff he got to go play with and his favorite moments of that. So, Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about SHOT Show, what it was, where it was, how long it was, how many steps you got in?
Oh my gosh, let's talk. I'm a little on the husky side. So I walked over a period of 4 days, 76,000 steps.
But you have shorter legs. So that's like 20,000 for.
Yeah. So I had my little watch counter and I counted every single day. So when I got off the plane to when I got on the plane, 4 days, 76,000 steps. And it was brutal. So SHOT Show is a big gun convention, I guess you would call it, where all the industry giants get together in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it's just 4 days of fun in the sun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of walking. And you got to see a lot of cool guns from a lot of cool manufacturers.
Did you go to media shoot day?
No, I skipped that.
Okay.
And actually that got rained out and thunderstormed out. So the media day. So media day is a day before SHOT Show starts. It's that Monday. SHOT Show is Tuesday through Friday. So that Monday, there's an outdoor portion where you can go and shoot a lot of the guns if you're invited. So they tightened up the invite list this year. So a lot of people weren't invited. I was invited, but I just didn't want to go because I have to work at least one day in my real job before I go off to Vegas. So Monday I stayed in the office cleaning it up. And it was a lot of fun. A lot of good guns, a lot of new releases this year.
I did see some videos from the guys who went out on media day, and I think the wind was blowing 40, 45 miles an hour. You know, it did not look, I've been out there in the wintertime in Vegas when that wind's been blowing, and it's not pleasant. But
it's super cold. It's not very friendly.
It goes right through you at 45 miles an hour.
It was windy, and I guess around, it's supposed to last till 4:30, 5 o'clock, but around 12:30, they had to wrap it up because there was thunderstorms, and it got pretty gnarly, and it got really cold. It was 40, 45 in
with a 45 mile an hour wind.
Yeah, so it was biting wind. Yeah, it didn't look fun at all.
Well, good choice on skipping that one. So you show up on SHOT Show day. Did you have a list of what you wanted to see?
Yeah. So this is my second year. My first year, I had a list of appointments and I wanted to see these guys and I had scheduled times. And that was a huge mistake because you end up zigzagging across this store, across these
convention centers.
And the convention center is huge. It takes up all of the first and second floor at the Palazzo, and then across to the Caesars Forum. They actually built a sky bridge. Now there's a Caesars Forum. That whole area is taken up. And it's just, if you were to walk up and down every row, it would take you 2 days if you didn't stop. It's bananas. It's so big. And there's every kind of manufacturer you could think of, from, dummies. There was a robot dog walking around from DARPA or whatever it was. There was a whole section for police stuff, and batons and guns. And it was just, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. But there's a lot of cool guns out. Like Palmetto State Armory has a micro dagger coming out, which is very cool. So it's like the dagger you can buy, which is a Glockish clone pistol, Glock 17.
So it's interesting. I got my hands on one of those to take a look at it, and it's a Glock. It'll take a Glock 19 upper, right? It's all compatible with Glock 19 parts and magazines and so forth. But Glock, for whatever reason, everybody who gets one that shoots them a lot modifies the grips, right? You've got a super thick trigger guard that just eats away on your middle finger when you're holding the gun high and tight, if you're shooting it a lot. And these other companies like Zev and Palmetto and many, many others said, well, why don't we just modify it so it fits people's hands and the gun shoots so much better? The other thing that's on that dagger is it's kind of got a small palm swell around it. So it really fills your hand better. And even the magazine release is better accessible. So it's just interesting that, come on, Glock, this is your gun. Everybody else is making it better. Why don't you come out with the Glock 49 that's the 19 redone the way everybody wants the darn thing? It just, I don't know. What's your thoughts?
That is a great question. But to Glock's credit, how long has that company been around? 5,000 years? I mean, Glock's been around forever, but they finally released a new trigger this year, which is revolutionary.
Right, for them.
But it's pretty common for everyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's one thing I don't get about that company. Everybody I know that buys a Glock, they immediately change the trigger, change the barrel, change the slide, change the sights, change everything about it, but it's a Glock. I bought it. I still have the Glock box, even though it doesn't look or it's nothing. It's completely
if I remember correctly, you are a giant Glock fanboy.
It's funny. I actually had a subscriber send me a Glock t-shirt as a joke.
That's funny.
But it was a medium. It was a schmedium. So
it really was a joke.
It really was a joke. There's no way I was fitting in that sucker.
I think you should put it on and go to the range.
I think I would be kicked out of the range pretty quick. I identify as an extra large. Yeah, no.
Perfect. Okay, so Glock had a new trigger that came out. The Palmetto is going to have their dagger. And actually, I think you did a lot of videos with Palmetto, didn't you? Some of their other
I did
stuff,
a few. Yeah, PSA had so many new things coming out. They had a 5.7, a smaller 5.7. They had the STG 44 that they are remaking.
How big is the smaller 5.7?
It's a little bit small. The grip's a little smaller.
Yeah. So it's a concealable gun?
Well, my size, everything is concealable.
I understand. But, some of the original 5.7 that came out, it was a big gun, right?
It was pretty big, yes.
And then the Smith & Wesson came out with theirs this year. And I think Ruger has one also. So, I mean, that cartridge with its low recoil and its devastation effects could be a great concealed carry gun.
I love the 5.7.
Especially for somebody who may not have good grip strength, where they can't rack a 19 or a 17 or something like that, but they can handle, when I'm teaching newer people, sometimes I get some of the ladies in the class who, maybe they're 60, 65 years old. The husband's passed away. They're on their own for their first time in their life, and they realize they need self-defense, and they pull out the Model 19 the husband had in the drawer, and they just can't manipulate it. It's not comfortable. They need something they can use. And like the Walther 22 is perfect, because it's, 10 rounds of Stinger ammo is going to ruin somebody's day, but it's something that they can be competent with and comfortable with their hand strength. And I think the 5.7 or a 22 Magnum version of the Walther would be a great improvement over the capabilities of a 22 long rifle. If you can give them that same platform with a 5.7, now they really got a stinger, and they can send people down the road like a scalded dog for breaking into their homes.
I absolutely love that round. It's just so expensive still. I mean, a box of 50 is going to cost you $38. That's about the cheapest you'll find it.
Yeah. A box of 59 millimeter, you're going to find for, I think at Tombstone, they're $13, right? So their prices are finally coming back down.
A little bit.
I would love to see it back at $9.99, but I don't think that's going to happen. But, it's more affordable to practice 9 millimeter than 5.7.
100%. So Ruger does have a very nice 5.7 pistol. They also have the LC carbine, which is a 5.7 carbine, which is pretty good. I reviewed that on my channel. The controls on it are a little wonky. I wasn't too thrilled with it, so I since have gotten rid of it. The Smith & Wesson 5.7, some people thought it was great. I thought it looked a little wonky to me. The slide to frame had a huge gap, and just wasn't feeling it.
So but the handle was kind of like a shield, right? Kind of a shield shape.
Yes.
That's what it looked like. Yeah. Okay. Hey, folks, this is Philip Naiman. Check us out at firinglineradio.com for our podcast. Go to smash_time for Michael's channel on Instagram at smash_time or YouTube smash time while we're still here. And we'll be right back after this talking about some more things he saw, she saw at SHOT Show. Right back after this. Hey, folks, welcome back to Firing Line Radio Show. This is Philip Naiman here. Hey, you know, that Moulin Labe, one of our sponsors in Prescott is Pralines of Prescott. They make amazing candy, man. I just go in there for the coffee and I smell the candy. But I made him a meme that's Leonidas, and it says, Spartans make more chocolates, Persians come and eat them. So I think that's it was perfect, right? Anyway, you got to get some chocolates in you, folks. That's a good place to go. All right, talking about chocolates, let's talk about SHOT Show here. You probably needed to fuel yourself for your 77,000 steps. I think it's a marathon, right? How many steps does it take to run a marathon?
I don't know, but it's like 40 something miles. It was 76,000 and change.
And how many miles was that?
I don't know. I think they said it's like 40 miles.
You walked 40 miles. Wow, 10 miles a day indoors.
Yeah. I almost sprained a cankle. Man, it was rough. It was rough.
Well, so fortunately, the cankles have better support than regular ankles, so you get away with more abuse on that.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people.
All right. Hey, so we just talked about the 5.7s. You didn't really like the Smith & Wessons, but you liked the Rugers. You liked the PSAs. What else did you see out there? I mean, right now, everybody wants precision rifles, right? They're all getting into carbon fiber, precision rifles. That's all there. And concealed carry. So what do you find on those areas?
You know, I don't know if you've ever heard of Kydex Defense or Kydex. I think it's pronounced Kydex. They had some precision rifles out there that were high dollar, but amazing. They looked absolutely amazing. The guy was trying to explain it. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. And he was trying to explain to me all the different rifles, and I failed to understand half of what he was saying. But man, he goes, yeah, you can shoot this about 2 miles. I'm like, wow, that's nice. How much does it cost? Yeah, you don't want to know. They start out about 8,000, 9,000.
Well, you know, there's a rule on this show that everything costs about $100, right? Your mileage may vary, but think about this, right? You're driving down the road, you've got your wife in the car or your significant other, and you're driving down the road, and I'm not going to cause a divorce. I don't know what you told her it costs, but everything's about $100. Okay. Box of ammo is about 20.
Right.
It's about 100. Hunting trips cost a couple $100 a round. You know, it's a rounding error kind of a thing. But hey, I'm not gonna cause the fight in that car.
Lesson learned.
Exactly. So, you know, these these rifles, you said Kydex, K-A-Y or K-Y-D?
It was C-A-D-X.
C-A-D-X. Okay.
And amazing. There was a girl there. Her name was Lauren Stroud. I think she shoots 3 miles or something, some crazy distance. She's the longest female.
She had a blue rifle, right?
I want to say it is blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I saw her also, not only that, but she had Accuracy Solutions bipod extender and
is that what that crazy thing was?
Oh, yeah.
On her rifle? They had a blue rifle there that was hers, and they had some crazy bipod on it. It was bananas looking.
Yeah. So Accuracy Solutions, that's our buddy Dan's company. What they've done is they've kind of created a new fulcrum. You know, the longer the lever, the more stable the platform. And so he has this bipod extension that he creates for these kind of rifles. And then he marries that with the Accutac bipod, which is just an absolute solid beast. Both of them made out here locally. They're sponsors of the show. And it takes the heartbeat out. If you've ever been on your rifle, I know you've got your Model 700 on the wall there. If you're ever on your rifle and you're kind of pushed down on it and just your heartbeat is moving the reticle, right? You can see that sometimes. It actually takes that out. It makes it so much more stable that it even takes your heartbeat out of the equation when it comes to precision shooting. So no, those are pretty awesome. And I think she was shooting like a 375 enabler, right? Which is getting geeked out here, but it's like a 505 Jeffries neck down to 37 caliber, or, 180 grains of powder per shot.
This is the part of the show where I just smile and agree.
Yeah, just do the nod thing. I know,
right over the head.
But it's pretty much like you can get 40 rounds per pound of powder for that cartridge, as opposed to getting 2,000 rounds of 9mm per pound of powder. Right. That's how much powder that thing uses. But wow. She's shooting those giant cutting edge bullets too. Yeah. She did really well in the King of 2 Miles. Anyway, what else did you see?
Rock Island Armory has a US made pistol now called the RIA. So it's not Rock Island Armory, RIA. They call it RIA. The RIA 5.0 has a square barrel. Yeah. Okay. It looks wonky. But when you hold it in your hand, it actually feels pretty well balanced. And
is there a 1911 platform?
Not really. It's kind of its own design. I really want to get one.
So is it really like an ergonomic feature that you liked on it the best?
Everyone was pooping on the trigger because it's a hinge trigger. And I liked it. I thought it felt pretty good. The gun looks good. It feels well balanced. And I don't know. Something about a square barrel in a pistol. I'm all about it. Let's try it. So
that's interesting. Yeah, it doesn't have to be round. I mean,
right.
That's one of the things that we've noticed a lot when it comes to the gun crowd. Okay. They don't usually take innovation very well. It's like, why'd you do that? Or if you're in a chat room, you'll see, so-and-so is shooting a 375 enabler 3 miles. Somebody else says, "Whoa, why you're shooting that far? 308's all you need." It's like, that's not the question. That comment's not helpful. It's not advancing the sport in any manner. Fine. If you only want a 308, then just get a 308, but acknowledge the excellence in the engineering and the thought process that was able to create a rifle that somebody can shoot 3 miles with. I mean, that's an artillery piece, right. You have to realize the excellence that's involved in that. The viewing, the Charlie Triac that they put on the scopes, the amazing things that they've done with ballistics. They've advanced the field so far that they've even made 308s better. So I just think that, I'm all about innovation and new things and changes. And why not? Why not see what the boundaries are? I don't know if I could even see 3 miles, right? But these people are shooting over the curve of the earth. Good for them.
That is so much math that I am not qualified to even try.
Right. Well,
I like a nice 700-yard shot. 700 yards, I'm totally happy with that. For two reasons. One, I'm not changing that target more than once a day. I'm not walking my happy butt out there.
You're back to your steps.
I know. That's a one change target. That's why
you're driving out there. Come on.
I put 6 targets out, and that's my whole day.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing. You're saying, oh, I would only shoot 700 yards. 20 years ago, nobody shot to 700 yards. Nobody.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So look at the advances that happen in the field. You're taking advantage of the scope on your rifle behind you. It's got adjustable turrets. 10 years ago, those were like on 2 different rifles. That was it, or 2 different scopes. No one else had them. Now everybody has them. So the advances in the field that are getting pushed along on the extreme edges, these people shooting 200 miles, that technology is coming all the way down and helping everybody else out. So,
right.
The ballistic charts, if you look on what scope is on your rifle behind you?
That is a Osprey. It's a very budget-minded scope.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm changing it as soon as I can.
Hey, you said you were changing it to the Akron?
Right on has some really nice scopes. So I'm going to try and change it to, they have a 18 by 50 that I think's around $650, $700. And the glass is super crisp. The knobs.
318 by 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Right On had a lot of scopes that if you put any other name on it, they'd be thousands of dollars. But most of their high-end scopes were, $1,100 down.
Yeah, or about
high
100.
quality.
About $100. So the other thing that they have on those, if you looked in their reticles, you see kind of like a Christmas tree format reticle, right?
Right.
And so that helps. It helps on second shots, third shots, and so forth. All that technology was, 20 years ago was a little bit in the military, but not very much. But now it's standard. And all I'm saying is that these advances come along, somebody's doing the math, putting it in, saying, hey, what about this? And I'm all for it because I think it's a great way to go. The one thing I don't like is I don't like an automatic rangefinder that adjusts the target for you. I think if you're hunting with that, you should at least have to do your own math. That's just my own personal thing. And again, that's just a personal bias. Just personal bias. Hey, folks, Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. Check us out at firinglineradio.com or smash_time for the real channel. Check out what Mike's doing his reviews on. We'll be right back after this. Hey, folks, welcome back to Firing Line Radio Show. Philip Naiman with Mike from Smash Time. Mike went and did 77,000 steps through SHOT Show so you wouldn't have to. Talked about a few things so I wouldn't have to. I knew I was going to have him on the show. Talked about a few things he saw out there. He made an interesting comment at the break I want to talk about. Mike, pick it up from there. What is it now you saw succinctly at the SHOT Show?
Well, the AR market, as you can tell, is completely saturated for like AR-15s. And there was a definite distinction between the smaller AR-15 manufacturers and their price points, which were super aggressive, and then like the smaller companies. I almost feel bad for the real small companies making AR-15s now because the market is saturated. The big guys can afford to get really low in the dirt as far as prices, and it's going to really, I think a lot of these guys are going to be going out of business this year. There's companies like Live Free Armory, who are a pretty solid manufacturer. They do pistols, slides, barrels, and they also have their own AR-15 line. They have an AR-9 decked out for $620, $640 MSRP. So street price on that's going to be maybe $599. And it's a 9mm AR that takes Glock mags. Super popular. That's pretty aggressive. And they have a 308 for under $1,000. It's their battle rifle 308. Wow. AR-15. I mean, AR-10. It's amazing. So companies like that can get really down in the weeds as far as the price. And I think the smaller companies, I think next year you're going to see a lot of them going out of business.
Interesting. I think I tell you, if you shoot any of the matches, 3-gun matches or practical pistol where the guys are shooting those carbines, it is amazing how well people shoot those carbines. The 9mm, whether it's an AR platform with the Glock mags or the Ruger PC9 or any of the others, they are really fast. They're pretty awesome to watch. These guys run those guns well. I don't run mine well, but they run theirs well.
Yeah, I wish those guys the best. I hate to see companies fold, but as the demand, like I have a friend that tried to trade in to Daniel Defense AR-15 set a shop for a pistol, and they wouldn't take it. They have too many AR-15s now. They wouldn't even offer them money for it.
Wow.
Because they have marching orders not to take any more ARs on trade. Just they don't want it.
Wow. From hot to not, huh?
Yep.
What else did you see?
Man, let's see. What really stuck out? Savior Equipment had a lot of cool bags out there. They have a few bags they're releasing. Not to beat a dead horse, but PSA is actually coming out with a retro AR-15A1. So it's a 1970s style, and that's going to be like $1,300. And I know
comes with bell bottoms.
Right. And I know, I think, was it Smith & Wesson or Colt? Colt has a retro one, but it's $2,600. And
It's so funny. We've come so far away from that, so far away from the high rail, the sight on it, the big giant plastic, and
I
everybody's
want one.
and then they go right back to that.
Well, I want it for nostalgia because that was one of the first ARs I shot was
Right.
the
That's all there
big
was.
clunky A1, and I'm like, this thing is terrible. Where do you mount all the grips and stuff? It's horrible. But as far as a gun I can shoot and hang on the wall, that thing is the bee's knees.
Hey, you're going to be doing a series now on changing out some rifles, aren't you?
Do what?
You're going to be doing a series on upgrading rifles.
Yeah, I have a series I already started. I'm actually going to leave here and go straight to the range and finish filming half of it. So this Remington 700 I have behind me, I shot it right out of the safe because, you know, if you look at everybody in their gun safe, they have a bolt gun. They probably don't shoot anymore. So my whole series is on how accurate can we get this Remington 700 as cheap as possible, as, you know, under $1,000. What can we do with it for under $1,000 to spice it up? So the only thing I changed on it was I have a threaded barrel and I put on a brake.
What about your stock?
The stock is coming. That's coming. So that'll be round 2. And then I have glass I'm going to put on it. So I figure if I can glass bed the stock, put a nice bipod on it, put a better piece of glass, that should, because the gun shoots pretty great just as it is. You know, it shoots pretty good groups at 100 yards as it sits. But I wonder how close I can get it with just changing the stock out and putting better glass. I think it should improve it quite a bit.
Yeah, well, the other thing I always recommend is tightening up the nut at the end of the stock. I think that helps quite a bit.
All right. I'll take that in consideration. It took me like 3 seconds to get that joke.
Yeah, I know. I got a million of them. Just hang on. This is the fun part here, folks. Okay, so you've got that going on. That's at smash_time on YouTube. Don't obviously make any modifications on it, or you're going to get deplatformed. But you can go through what you've done, right?
Yeah, I can't show. So the first part where I showed the modification, all that video just got scrapped because I can't show it anymore. But let me tell you what I am getting from SHOT Show. It just hit the mail today, and it'll be here by the weekend. I got one of the new ballistic dummies that you can shoot over and over again. It's like foam dummies. You can shoot them about 10,000 times.
Really?
Yes. And this one, they go, which one do you want? So I went all the way to the end. I want the girl. So I have a girl ballistic dummy because everyone's out there shooting. The other guy looks like Charles Bronson. The other one looks like Betty Crocker. So I'm like, let me get Betty Crocker. So I have a female ballistic dummy coming and I'm going to be shooting holes in.
Oh, man.
I can't wait to get it.
This will be great at divorce court.
Have you ever practiced? No, but you know, hey, everybody wants to shoot the dummy. Let's just change it up a little bit. Hey, it's the new world. You know, I'm all about equality. Everyone deserves equal time.
Equal time under the gun. You know, why do the zombies always have to get it, right? What's a zombie ever done to you?
Right. If you want to check them out, it's dummiesunlimited.com is where you can get them. And I forget, I think it's Becky is the name of the dummy.
That's funny.
Dummies. Well, it will be when I get it. That's Becky.
You're settling old high school scores? Is that what like?
I name it Trudy. All right, Trudy. This is what you remember? Say no to me at prom.
That's right. Trudy C, not to mention any last names, but you know who you are. Oh, geez. So that's pretty fun. Does it do ballistic testing, or is it just like a rubber target you can shoot over and over again?
No, it's a giant 3D like foamish target, right? And you can actually put like a hammer in the hand. You can change it out. You can put a gun in the hand, a hammer, a spatula. So I'm telling you, Philip, the possibilities are endless with this.
Oh, that's hilarious. I think the spatula is going to work. Yeah.
No, I think it's going to be great.
Well, I got to see some of those videos when you bring it out here. I think you should put it on a tractor tread and have her be chasing you around. You know, have you seen those roving dummies? Seriously,
Yeah.
you know, set it up for that, and that'd be great. It'd be a lot of fun.
I'm gonna sit her next to me and like the carpool lane. It's gonna be great.
Holes all over it.
Well, they said they could take 10,000 small arm rounds. So as long as you're not shooting her with a 12 gauge, it should be okay. But it looks really cool. I can't wait. Can't wait to get it.
Becky. It's always Becky. All right. So what else did you got? SHOT Show.
That's about it. I mean, there was a lot of the same. You know what I did see a lot of is airsoft companies. The airsoft guns these days are amazing. There's one called Lancer Tactical. I think they are in California. They had a whole suite of AR style airsoft guns that, you know, not only can you practice with it, it's cheap. You can deck them out just like your regular setup. And then the weight, you know, it weighs about the same as an AR-15 too. So, I mean, you can really practice running gun in your backyard, in the house, even discipline your kids.
We've been talking about that for a long time, especially when ammo was so hard to find. It's like, you know, get yourself the same model gun that you use. Like Glock has blowback, you know, Model 19s or 17s or whatever, but it's a great way to practice. I think that's a very good point that you're making there. Folks, I want to thank my special guest, Mike, the Becky Killer, at Smash Time, _time on YouTube, or at Smash Time on Instagram. Check him out. He's got some great gun reviews, fun guy. He's in free America. So wish him well. Mike, thank you for being on the show. Thanks for taking 77,000 steps so we didn't have to.
Hey, my pleasure.
All right. Do it again next year. God bless everybody. Have a great weekend.
And cut.